Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and welcome back to another episode of... So, to bring people up to speed, in case you haven't read the description, back in 2023, I came across this channel when looking for Christmas gachas, and the result of that was that I found the Christmas play That Goes Wrong, which has become one of my favorite Christmas gacha videos, and one that I was definitely happy to go back to during last year's holiday season, just in general. And also because discussing the Jacobs, I had to evaluate it anyway. So, yeah, here we were. And then, of course, bring us up to a bit more recently, of course, Miss Morrible's Christmas Carol, which came out only 2 weeks ago, actually. Which does go to show that unlike Histain, the other underrated channel that I found last year that I keep nominating for the Jacobs, this one actually is, in fact, still active. Although the subject of Histain, actually, she did, in fact, favorite one of my comments on the True Meaning of Christmas video, which I was really happy about. Oh, well, maybe it was the neighbors one. Either way, it got a heart, so someone's clearly managing that channel, but just not really posting stuff. This one is posting, but less, but more so, like it's like, you know, twice a year potentially. So who knows whether or not we'll get more in this expanded universe anytime soon, but the fact is that it is still in fact ongoing. But how did it begin, though, is the real question. Because I said we were going to go back to it in January of last year, and now January of this year, I intend to deliver on that promise. So this is I believe the first. It is at very least the first gacha video that is public on the channel if you go by the oldest filter. So I'm going to start from here. The reason I say it's possible is because there's another video called Miss Fantasia Pilot that exists that is like 2 videos down the line. So I'm not entirely sure why the pilot is afterwards, if it is the same continuity, or whether or not this will end up getting revamped into the same into a different continuity with those same characters that will then continue until the eventual Miss Morrible we've seen already. But the fact is, Miss Morrible, in some form or another, stars in this particular video, and it seems like she's garnered some recognition from people, for better or worse. So let's live on that promise then, shall we? Without further ado, on with the review. Oh yeah, I forgot, this is a copyrighted intro. Yeah, it's Hello Kitty by Avril Lavigne, in case anyone is curious or didn't recognize it from that part. Yeah. After this point, it stops. I will see if the audio is suitable to continue unmuted. Let's see. Puts clothes in the washing machine. That in fact looks like a normal cupboard, but thank you for clarifying, Susan. Yeah, this sounds copyrighted. Let's go a little bit further and see. Mia and Ava. Alright. I'm trying to remember if I know those names, that's why I said those out loud. Hi, Mum. Okay, no, this does seem like, you know, it's either an instrumental version of a copyrighted song, or it's just a deceptively compressed, you know, public domain audio thing, or royalty free. I'm really not sure, actually. You know, let me just check in the description. This video is using Gacha Life and Splice. Okay. The only song that's been flagged is the intro from Avril Lavigne, so I'm going to continue with the music for now, and then, I don't know, we'll see if it gets demonetized later. That's like a video game music? Oh, okay. Video game music is normally alright. Which reminds me, I've got to turn on monetization for this stream, so, you know, we'll see if, we'll see what, how long it takes to, you know, get flagged, if that is the case. Let's see. It's catchy though. Anyway, back to the video. Good morning, girls. Do you need help with the laundry? It's all gone, it seems. There are no clothes that are currently on screen, so it seems like she's already put everything in and she was just finishing off, but we'll find out. Oh no, I got it covered. You girls get to school and have fun. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye, Mum. Yeah, I've got to turn this down anyway, because it is definitely very overwhelming. No one helps me. I'm just a slave to them. They offered to help you just now. I know that seems to be like a joke, potentially, but, like, why? And I guess that's it, because, you know, this definitely seems like a a lol random thing. Anyway, both kids don't look like their parents. Well, Mum, we've only seen one parent. Okay, that's not really much to go on yet. Let's you know, this happens like every time that like a gacha cat does not look like they're like one of their parents. It's like, oh, one of the theories that are going on here. It's like, I mean, let's give it a second. But before that, I will also say, this video came out April 6th, 2020, which is why it's a Gacha Life mini-movie. And yeah, I think this was like when we were starting to like fizzle out, particularly with, from the lol random era of Gacha. But then again, this is Miss Fantasia's, possible first Gacha video, and therefore, potentially the lol random stuff comes from just the idea of what kids find funny. Again, I don't know how old Miss Fantasia actually is, so, but yeah, so I have no idea. One kid has blue eyes, the other has green eyes. Explain that. Well, if you want, I can tackle in Vin. He can talk your head off about some alleles and gene manifestations and phenotypes, because all of that stuff can be a factor into why the kids have different eye colors. Oh boy, here we go again. The donut apocalypse is nice. Oh, another giveaway about this being like a in the style of early gacha is that it's very uncommon practice now to have the scene directions in speech bubble format. But then again, that necessity sort of fizzled out as the gacha games got more complex and there was more possibilities behind them, so I don't know. Hi, Ellie. Oh, hey, girls. What do we miss? I would love it if, like, if the donut apocalypse was an actual, like, canon event that was going to happen sometime in the lore, and this was, like, foreshadowed all the way back here. That would be fantastic. Anyway, what did we miss? Well, Joe Nutt started preaching about the donut apocalypse. Again, I presume. Yeah, nothing new. I'll deal with him. Oh no! She's gonna show him Ian Heacock's favorite food, the pink frosted sprinkled donuts. Here you go. Now please shut up. Wait, what? Hold on. The donut apocalypse is nigh, but a donut appeases his preaching of the donut apocalypse? What? Wouldn't that make him more afraid, the fact that there is a donut in front of him? Also, I imagine he's called Joe Nuts because it rhymes with donuts, but I guess he's missed up at that point, yeah. I'll join my headset snaps, I'd look for a new one. I don't if putting on my PC audio would catch on my mic. I'm guessing you mean I don't know. I reckon it probably would. It probably would capture it because like obviously your mic would be, you used it in the past. The only issue is that there's a greater risk of echo from not wearing headphones or just a headset in general. That's the only thing that would happen, really, I think. But yeah, that's not the case for everyone. It was the case for me back then. That's why I keep wearing these. But yeah, beyond that, no idea. Nom, 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 nom. this reminds me actually of some of the first Gacha videos I ever saw, because Musical Natasha, the first VA of Morwena, that she actually used to show me a bunch of her videos, as did her brother Jay, and yeah, between the pair of them, yeah, there was they very much favored the lore random style that was again prevalent of the time, but especially Natasha, because like nothing in those made sense, but it didn't make sense in like the best of ways. Unfortunately, they both deleted their content, so I can't really bring them up. But yeah, needless to say, my favorite character was Cheyenne, who was based on the real life Cheyenne, who follows me on Instagram actually, whose whole deal was being obsessed with muffins, aka muffins. That was like half of her dialogue. So of course as I was the one providing the voice for her when we like watched them together, I just went muffins a lot of the time. So yeah. Anyway, we should get to class now. I have physics. It's so boring. Unlucky. Hey Samantha, did you have maths with Miss Joy? Oh yeah, this is the series where none of the teachers' names, all the teachers' names are either puns or they match the they match their job description. Like Professor Sprout, let's say, from Harry Potter. Anyway, yeah, she makes everything fun. Thank you for relaying that to your sister, who presumably also knows the teacher very well, and having that be not a clumsy way to inform the audience of that exact same thing. Later that day. Where's Miss Joy? She's never late. What is going on behind here? Again, a lot of random stuff. This one character has no mouth, and the other one is throwing a chair behind her. I'm guessing this is going to be the reel of Miss Morrible, because, it could be like a substitute or something, but yeah, if Miss Morrible doesn't, like, notice the thrown chair immediately, I would be very concerned. I hope nothing bad happened. Hello! Miss Joy finds herself, incapable of teaching at this current moment. Whoopsh. Anyway. And yeah, there you go. How can the terrible teacher? Everyone in your seats, in silence. Chairs are for sitting, not for throwing. Which is not a bad lesson thus far, but again, could be delivered a little bit better. I do remember there's like one teacher that I had in sixth form, who the first thing he would say like every lesson basically was like, "Okay, don't talk," or something like that, one to like calm everyone down and get started. and yeah, and at the end of like half the lessons he would say "F off," like to dismiss us. That was just his way of doing things. Yeah, it was like a 50%, but yeah, nearly 100% was "Okay, don't talk" at the start of the lesson. He wasn't terrible though. He was actually, he's one of those teachers that's intimidating when you mess up, and just in general to like give reputation. But he's actually very nice in his classes. He's one of those. Yeah. There's some uniform choice, that's for sure. Yeah, I think we have talked about the uniforms in some other Miss Fantasia Gahcah videos. Which kudos, by the way, to Miss Fantasia for keeping the uniforms consistent over the course of 4 years, because I definitely know many Gacha tubers who would have been tempted to alter the style over the course of the years. They had more restraint than Aphmau did, so that is commendable, at least in that regard. But yeah, the uniform choice I'm actually very intrigued by, because I haven't seen a uniform color scheme of this nature before, and it's not like, well, to quote Emily from 2021, actually, it's not like revolting. So, so ultimately, yeah, it makes them a bit more distinguished, I would say, compared to you're not going to mistake this the Miss Fantasia Gahcah video for any other school series. especially given that the backgrounds are always the same. That's one way. Yeah. How in the world do you remember that? Because it's because that I have I've rewatched the Running With You Gacha reviews a couple of times because they're obviously like a little more bite sized. So it's like, oh yeah, this was a fun series to rip into, you know, especially because like, you know, I wrote for it, and also the reviews aren't that long, and was one of like the first things that we all like combined together. So yeah, I like going back to that one particularly, but also because at the time of editing that, because it was still pre-recorded, of course, I actually made that into a quote. I said, it's not like revolting Emily 2021. That was so that's one of the things that I think about sometimes when it comes to Emily quotes. But anyway, now that's more like it. I am Miss Morrible. Your usual teacher has a cold. Yes, she has a cold. Nothing more. So in the meantime, I'll be your teacher. Let's go over some rules, shall we? Before we do that, I have to mention as well that that the fact that Miss Morrible was a standout character and stayed along for the last 4 to nearly 5 years at this point of this channel's existence means that either she actually got promoted to regular teacher and not just substitute after this point, or B, she's already a teacher, but this class have not met her yet, and she just got rotated a little bit in the order of things. Or C, that Miss Joy's cold was far worse than we thought, and she's either still in recovery or never came back. So, one of those options. And given that nowadays we know about Miss Morrible's demonic parentage and upbringing, if you remember from the Christmas Carol episode, I don't know. I'm a bit worried about Miss Joy here. Students must be seen and never heard. Oh yeah, by the way, this music here. First of all, it did change when the scene changed, which, you know, for a first Gacha video is something that again shows why Miss Fantasia Gahcah is as underrated as she currently is, for sure. You know, and would ascend to later heights as well. The fact that this is the starting point is, you know, a great sign, and would be a great sign if I hadn't already seen the result of the evolution myself. But also, this music reminds me a little bit of those stingers at the end of some 80s and 90s sitcoms, really. You know, before a transition happens, uh-oh, we've messed up! Fades to black and the next scene starts, or, you know, there's a bit of a thing in between. It felt like that, basically. So, you know, an interesting choice that is kind of fitting, and it would be more fitting, I think, if it didn't continue to play, if it's just at the end. But yeah, at least it sets the tone properly. So you know what, not the best choice, I don't think, but not the worst either. The bell doesn't dismiss you, I dismiss you. Yeah, I've definitely heard that sentence from a lot of teachers as well. I mean, ultimately, it only ends up being you know, worse for the for whichever teacher has a lesson with the class later on. So ultimately, they're just, you know, harming their coworkers more than anything else. But I do understand that it's mostly because some teachers will start to immediately pick up stuff when you're still finishing a sentence or something. So I don't know. It's one of those things back and forth in real life, but here it's definitely, you know, Miss Morrible's grab for power. Yeah. You there in the front. Me? What about Pinkhead Girl was going to throw the chair earlier? Yes, you. Why is your hair so curly? I would say genetics, but that does look artificial, so I'm not gonna go down that line. Or maybe it is genetics. Okay, my hair is naturally curly, miss. How dare you talk back to me? Yeah, here we go. I was avoiding saying it, but yes, Miss Trunchbull Core. Yeah, ultimately, yeah, I think if Miss Joy does come back, it kind of seems like, once again, the dynamic, you know, Miss Trunchbull, Miss Honey dynamic between the pair of them, or that's what's, you know, a possible thing that will happen later. Again, if she does recover and she's not, permanently indisposed, let's call it. But then again, that also harkens back to Miss Karen and Miss forgot her name from Nightmare Daycare. Yeah, forgot her name, but yeah, same idea. It's like the most thing ever, but my sound is off, so I can't hear anything that you're saying. Okay, well, I guess I'll stop answering your comments then. Detention! Later that day. I home. Welcome back, dear. Dinner's on the table. Okay, do you need help with the dishes afterwards? Okay, so once again, Ava is offering to help out, and Susan seems to has a chance to once again realize this and not complain in her own head. But let's see if she does that. It's okay, you've had a busy day. Okay then. And now she lands on the screen. Let's see. She probably got attention on purpose to avoid helping me, even though she didn't avoid helping. See, that's the thing. Like, I get the joke that's going on here, and okay, if it happens a third time, then rule of threes kicks in, and so be it. But the thing is, the foundation's wrong here because, like, for this joke to work, you would need to have like you need to have the like both twins like actively, like say that they're tired or they got attention, or they say, oh, we've got to get to school, like dismiss Susan first and then have that reaction from her, so we see like that frustration, which is a relatable thing, but it's not it's not relatable when a person is actively rejecting all help and still complains about it. That's just being terrible, even if it is like inside the character's own head. And bear in mind that Susan's the only character who we've seen the internal thoughts of thus far. And it seems like the main characters with this is meant to be Ava / Miss Morrible, depending on, the title character thing, but she's more the antagonist and the protagonist. So yeah, it's meant to be Ava. But yeah, here we are, and something's clearly gone wrong in the comedy process of at least this. The Donut Apocalypse, now I think about it, because the Donut Apocalypse was appeased by a donut. Which, yeah, I don't think that's how that normally works. So yeah, I guess one thing that Miss Fantasia Gahcah hadn't quite worked out yet was comedy, at least at this stage, because later on, yeah, I'm sure what Jacob was saying is so insightful. Yeah, I would say to you, Bon, thank you for supporting the stream and continuing to watch despite not being able to hear it, but you can't hear me say that, so there you go. Don't really, yeah, can't really, yeah. Hope your body, is hope your headphones charge soon enough for you. Can't wait to watch the. Oh yeah, so you can actually figure out this stuff. Well, in that case, I'll say it to you. Thank you for supporting the stream, despite the fact that you can't hear it. Anyways, back to Mia now, who has changed out of her uniform, which is something that some people forget to do. Is it true? Was Miss Morrible your substitute teacher? Yeah, she gave me detention for my naturally curly hair. Actually, it was for talking back to her, which was, on the foundation of that, but anyway. I hope Miss Joy comes back soon. 3 weeks later. Oh, speaking of Donut Apocalypse, again, we gotta reinforce this joke. Hi. Oh, hi. Where's Ava? Her last lesson was Math and Miss Morrible, so what, she playing sick or something? Oh wait, no, she straightened her hair. Oh no, she hasn't. Okay, all right then. Oh, you know what's something I just realized? You know how people have been complaining for years about the lack of curly hairs in Gacha Life, and honestly up to Gacha Life 2 as well. For good reason, naturally. I will definitely say that there are some like at least some like slight curls or at least wavy hair. I don't remember if they were in Gacha Life 1, but there are a few options that could have worked here in other games at least. So again, maybe it's just a case of we've we had to wait until Luna May graced us with a little bit of curl. I wonder if they just don't have naturally curly hairs for a lot of the time because they're harder to draw. I have no idea if that's true, but I can imagine it being harder, just on the grounds of like how much detail you have to go into. I wonder if that's the reason. Anyway. Let me guess. The bell doesn't special, right? Special. I mean, it's not really much of a guess because Mia told you that's exactly what happens, but, you know, I guess you could pretend. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, so, wait, this is a different lesson with Morrible that you just had right now. Okay, now I'm starting to see. Okay, fair enough. Oh, hello to, M. Serica Baby 1. I think I said that correctly. Or, oh no, sorry, Miss Erica Baby. My bad. M. Serica. Miss Erica Baby 1. That seems more reasonable. Welcome to the stream. Seriously though, she gave detention to a boy because she didn't like his name. Can Pinky get detention for almost throwing a chair, please? That's all I want in this video. And I have detention. Again. Because of your hair. Yeah. I hope for your sake Miss Joy comes back soon. I'm surprised that this is 3 weeks later, right? First of all, that's a very long cold. Again, Miss Joy is definitely has something else going on right now aside from the cold. But you know, but also, you know, and Ava here, I guess, hasn't thought to go to the principal yet about this, or you know, talk to anyone, because I mean, I will say that I've been quite fortunate in never having to deal with an exceptionally cruel teacher, or at least not one that was directed towards me. There are some teachers in my past that, you know, one of them particularly, actually, that a lot of my primary school friends said that she was exceptionally cruel to everyone except for me, because she kind of like saw me as like a pet project of hers, as she was the Spanish teacher and I was learning Spanish and, you know, seeing the fruits of her labor essentially coming to life. But because I remember at one point I did really well in an exam, and she said she was going to, like, you know, show it to the community of Madrid. I have no idea if that actually happened or not, by the way. I've just, you know, there's one thing that she said she was going to do in class. In any case, what was I getting this? Yeah, my brother actually has dealt with a teacher who was cruel to him. Actually, also, ironically enough, a Spanish teacher, but a Spanish teacher who was British and was teaching it as a foreign language, and my brother already knew the foreign language better than the teacher. And so it definitely seemed to be a case out of jealousy where she was picking on, like, nearly everything that he did, or, like, actively looking to, you know, punish and antagonize him. To the point where, actually, you know how some teachers get, like, cruel nicknames? This is a very rare case, but one time my mum heard him use the cruel nickname he gave to the teacher in question, and told him off for it at the time, as is the case that parents will do. However, once she actually met the teacher in question and heard her Spanish and heard the things that, you know, she would say, you know, like, because there's obviously parent meetings and stuff, she started using the nickname as well, like, in private, of course, but, like, that was the thing between the pair of them. So that was a more difficult situation, because ultimately the stuff that she was, like, you know, picking on him for were things that's like, okay, like, you know, you whisper to your friend one time, but of course, like, you get the detention, or, like, stuff where she had plausible deniability, basically, and that's why it was very difficult to deal with her, and why ultimately nothing could be done until eventually the rotation changed the year afterwards. Oh, and also my brother took the final exam in Spanish a year early, so he was able to avoid that. Oh wait, no, he didn't. No, he didn't think it's to change the rules. Yeah, I think he did it at the normal time. No, yeah, he did it at the normal time, I think. You know what, I've got to ask him that. I'll ask him. I don't remember quickly. I don't remember that entirely. yeah, either way, he didn't have to deal with her for too long, fortunately. But in the case of Miss Morrible, this is stuff that, you know, is not grounds for any sort of dismissal or like any school rules whatsoever. She's just making it up. And that's why this thing could be dealt with a lot more easily. The difference between like this and compare it to like Miss Karen from Nightmare Daycare. Miss Karen obviously was, you know, a much more extreme situation. She was doing ludicrous stuff that she could never get away with at all if anyone knew what was going on and could prove it. The thing is, of course, she was picking on like 1- and 2-year-olds who couldn't communicate what was going on, and that's why she got away with it for as long as she did, because again, she was able to find a way around that. But yeah, in this case, Miss Morrible is dealing with people who can communicate, and in a way where they can actually definitely have grounds to sanction her in some way, or get her sanctioned in some way. So unfortunately, she's in that middle ground between my brother's old Spanish teacher and Miss Karen from Nightmare Daycare, where she is, you know, likely to not get away with it for too long. But yet she's a mainstay of this expanded universe and has been around for 5 years. So yeah, who knows actually. That does raise the question of what they're going to do about it in this episode. We are about halfway through the video, so it's kind of difficult to say, but I guess let's find out. She's been gone for 3 weeks now. I hope she's okay. Detonate. Oh, okay. Hello, is anybody here? Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say this is definitely a dream of some kind, but yeah. Also, yeah, 100% video game music. Kadebi was right. Ah, somebody help me! Ah, I tripped on nothing! It's a dream, I get this. Oh, okay, this is interesting. This would, of course, you know, 4 years down the line, would end up being used as Miss Morrible's, you know, place of origin, where she was born and raised, and also she was born dropped from the sky, as was the custom for demons, apparently. So I wonder if that was what that was referencing. If that video was meant to harken back to the beginnings, as this was the Christmas past section of the video. You know what? That was actually some really good speed. Normally with like falls or gacha movement, you know, that they're like, especially like for first timers, they take forever to figure out like the speed of movement. They'll be very slow walking, or they'll be like teleportation, basically, or like, you know, glorified teleportation. And in terms of falling or like tripping, it's even like done in slow motion all the time. But no, that was actually very solid, and with like you know, smoke particle effects on the ground as well to symbolize the impact. So Miss Fantasia Gahcah understood like the weighting of characters and how to properly represent that from the first video. Again, pretty good. And not only that, but also, again, the conjuring of like the different things and the combination of like, the effects and props and everything, all paced correctly. Now let's learn algebra. Forever. No. There we go. It was just a nightmare. Oh wow, her curls are less curly when she wakes up. Now, again, as someone who also has curly hair, I can definitely tell you, it's the other way around. Your hair is much curlier when you wake up than compared to when you fall asleep. I really have to do something about Miss Morrible. After 3 weeks, now I decide to take action. Maybe she has something to do with Miss Joy's cold. Miss Joy's in a block of ice somewhere. It looks like it's going to be a bright, sunny day. I hate it. How disappointing, yeah. I know what will cheer me up. Shattered dreams, fried and served sunny side up. With a glass of children's tears, my favorite breakfast. I'm out of children's tear? Well, I know how to solve this problem. I'm kidding. I must get some more. Okay, interesting. It's the exact same witch outfit. Now, again, I knew from the other video that Miss Morrible had powers, fantastic, but the fact that Ava envisioned the exact outfit seems to me that that's implying that, you know, it was a premonition more so than just a dream about a teacher she doesn't like, which can happen. Children's tears singular. Yeah, you know what? You're right. Actually, yeah, she said children's tears originally. I was like, ah, yes, out of children's tear. I have not one tear, not one mere tear in here. I fear. Okay. This is something I wasn't expecting. Alright then. Is this part of the donut apocalypse? That is a donut, right? Yep, there we go. Okay, you know what? This is... when I say rule of threes sometimes comes into it, like, this is a good example of, like, how to apply it properly. You know what? The fact that Joe Nuts goes wherever donuts are, fair enough, yeah. The way she flew away from... we're past that. It's donut time. Yep. Maybe donut apocalypse actually refers to, like, the apocalypse of donuts, not the apocalypse, like, you know, brought about by donuts, like there'll be no more or something. I have no idea. I can hear something coming from the basement. Oh, okay. Well, here we go. Miss Joy? Okay, I have to question, after this, how is it in any way possible that Miss Morrible still has a job? Oh wait, magic. You okay? I am now. Thank you, Ava. You're very brave. Why did Miss Morrible do this to you? Because she wants children's tear, don't you see? She believes that students shouldn't have freedom or fun. It's like, well, yeah, I know that. I've been in a class for 3 weeks. What? Tell me something I don't know. So that's Miss Morrible, all right. So they were co-workers. So Miss Morrible is in fact, you know, a regular teacher, not just a substitute. Okay, let's get out of here. Donuts. Is he all right? He is unconscious on the floor with a concussion. No, Miss Joy. No, he is not all right. And I did also say he's gotta go Nightmare Daycare, but more cursed. No. Nightmare Daycare was 100 times more cursed than this. The only way this is more cursed is that it contains actual curses. Aside from that, Nightmare Daycare is definitely the more cursed. No, no way around that one. No clue. Wake up, Joe! It's the donut apocalypse! Well, I guess his one character trait came in handy. Really? Today's the day? Why is he excited about that? He's been preaching about it for years, but... Oh, wait. Does he think the donut apocalypse is meant to be like a thing where, like, it rains donuts? And, like, that's... to the point where it engulfs the earth? And he just, like, and that's why his obsession with donuts relates to the apocalypse? The fact that it took me until now to realize that is definitely an indictment on, like, how poorly constructed that part was. But anyway, nope, just kidding. Also, I forgot to mention, heterochroma being a thing on this, also a thing that you don't see so much anymore. But I do have a very interesting secret to tell you. I will say that actually heterochromia, by the way, including this and not referenced as a plot point, that's also much rarer and the way this should be done, honestly. Is it about donuts? Do they? You girls! What is it, Miss? Your uniforms are disgusting. Oh wow, she agrees with Emily. Well, how's that one gonna go down? What? How? Everyone is wearing the exact same uniform. No, you talk back to her. Now you're going to get detention like your sister. Yeah, shush. Yep, there we go. How dare you talk back to me? Detention for both of you. It's hard to see the darkened eyes like behind like the glasses, but anyway. Yummy giant donut. What? Huh? Why does he think Miss Morrible's a giant donut now? Again, where'd that come from? That was not set up. Was he hypnotized or something? Does he think that everyone is a giant donut now? Okay, the way to have done that is to have Joan stand up in the house and envision somebody as envision like both Ava and Miss Joy as donuts. They then realize that that's what he thinks. He thinks everyone's a donut, and they set him on Miss Morrible. That's how you would be able to do that properly. Because otherwise, it's just a Deus Ex Machina here. A donut Ex Machina, if you will. But see, compare that to, for example, like the donut on the door, where we actually like set up the idea that Joe was obsessed with donuts, and that, you know, he was there's a reason for him to be there. That was a setup. You know, that's what there's using like pre-established things in order to like get out of a situation. That's not the Deus Ex Machina. That's not, you know, that's properly established. But here, we've gone back on that. It's like, well, we're missing a piece, basically. That was what the point was. Anyway, yeah, that was weird even for Joe. I agree, Ellie. Yep, 100%. Ellie has spoken nothing but the truth in this video thus far. Anyway, hey girls, guess what? Miss Joy is back. I mean, I think she needs like a little bit of time to recover personally, but I mean, you know, I guess she's keen to get back to teaching, so why the heck not? Ellie and Mia. What about them? You just said their name twice. What do you... I have no idea. Anyway. Great, now you want to put with Miss Morrible anymore. Again, you gotta imagine that somebody in this school will have lessons with her if she's not a substitute. So they probably should still do something about that. But then again, this is like outside the hall, so Miss Morrible does interact with students like outside of class as well. So the fact she introduced herself in the first class, she probably wouldn't need to do that necessarily, or maybe, you know, for those who didn't know, potentially. None of us will. Like, if you think about it as well, a lot of gacha series start like near the beginning of the school year, so they can establish stuff for the audience as well. It's a classic technique. I've you know, I guess I've done it myself. Have I? Yeah, Alpha Witch Academy. I've done that for myself. But yeah, like this one doesn't guarantee that it's like at the beginning. It's just a case of like, oh yeah, okay, they're going to school and they already exist here. No one's meeting like new people aside from Miss Morrible herself. So yeah, like again, for the beginning of this, you know, it's I was hoping to like, you know, get more Jews like to the characters on a bit more of like a detailed level to begin with, especially because we're going to follow them for the, you know, rest of the time we're going to be watching Miss Fantasia's videos. However, like this is honestly like not too bad of a start in general, because like, you know, they know each other, but I mean, they're not really giving away too much. We get like like a little bit of there's only 3 of them right now that really to focus on. So yeah, we'll learn more organically as we go along. And you know what? I'm okay with that. And there it is again. I don't know what you're getting at here. Oh, you're getting at their expressions. Okay. Do they have 2 expressions? Maybe not, but they do seem to mimic each other's expressions a lot. Which, yeah, is something that I try to avoid with music girls, like having everyone pull the same expressions. Like if there's like a bunch of characters in one scene, then yeah, have a little bit of copy paste, you know, goes unnoticed. But not when it's everyone. Or not when it's 2 people as well. Like, you know, acting is reacting and all that, but each character should react in a slightly different way to each other, I think. But anyway. Okay, I guess I guess Ava has become Grace Chastity. You know what? I have to put that I have to put that in the chat, just because I need Bond to see it. There we go. I don't need sound to know that roses are red, cacti are prickly, and that escalated quickly. You are indeed correct. It seems that after vanquishing a great evil, one shall become a great evil. So, I guess the reason behind what Joe just did was that Ava told him that she was a donut in disguise. Okay, I suppose. Yeah. Remember the end of Nerdy Proves Must Die, KW? Oh wait, no, maybe you didn't watch that one. I'm not sure. But yeah. Evil teachers must die. Yep. Pretty much indeed. Evil teachers must die. Evil teachers must die. Everybody better watch out. There's a donut that nigh. The apocalypse is nigh. Miss Morrible better fly. Joe is coming after her to eat her thigh. I don't know. Anyway. Fantasy of the Shadowrunners bring Aiden's Ava instead. Well, I mean, Aiden's Ava was in fact brought back in the lore, so, you know, that's fair. Something I still see a demonic child. She's become the thing that she swore to destroy. She defeated an evil and she became the evil. Hooray! Yay! We're okay with death now! Right. Okay. The end. What? You know, I just realized something that, yeah, you actually can get a little bit out of some gacha reviews, the non-voice acted ones particularly, with the sound off. Okay. So, yeah, like, we've got one person who was, you know, here the whole time with no sound, one who just returned right now. So it's gonna sound weird when I say that this one wasn't that bad. Like I said, like as a starting point for gacha, this is like actually this is actually like a great like first foot forward because it had the proper pacing, it had it had like the established character work. You know, it's not even though we don't know too much about like the mains yet, they feel distinctive. It had a beginning, middle, and end. It had like a little bit of mystery, even though it was kind of obvious that something happened to Joy like after a while. Like yeah, this and it had properly like timed music and everything. So yeah, like they're like on those levels, it was very solid, and it's rare that I comment on videos like editing and writing at the same time. Again, Miss Fantasia Gahcah definitely proves that, you know, within simplicity, there are ways to really like make the best stuff, and that you don't have to, you know, like even though later on, she would, you know, ascend to greater heights, I suppose, in that regard. Yeah, still a pretty solid start. Like it does say a lot with like the channels we've gone back to look at the beginning episodes that they've done, where a lot of them are like atrocious and take a long time to improve. The ones improve aesthetically, but not really story wise, because, you know, essentially the comments just keep like, you know, hyping them up undeservedly, in my opinion. But then again, it's my opinion, so it's not really saying too much. But in this case, no. In this case, I understand it completely. I will say, of course, that the attempts at humor don't quite work here because the structure of how the jokes are presented doesn't support them. Even the ones that like are naturally significant, like the Donut Apocalypse, but also the ones that aren't, which is like the whole thing with Susan. It's like, this is a funny thing their parent would say, but the thing is like, why are they saying it? You know, when a character that you haven't established properly feels like they're doing something out of character, it's not a good sign. So that's the areas that would have needed improvements at this point. Not to mention as well the idea of Miss Morrible's existence, you know, within the school, and what she actually should be able to do and what she gets away with a lot of that stuff also has been done probably better in some other works. Again, Nightmare Daycare being a prime example of this. And you know, as I say, except for a nice ending. The ending for was actually one of the weakest parts for me, I think. Mostly because it relies on, you know, a reveal of something that shouldn't have worked. We don't know the extent of Joe Nutt's nuttiness, I suppose you could say. So we wouldn't have known that would work with one episode of establishment. If this was like a later production and we knew a bit more about Joe, maybe that would come across a bit more. But then again, Joe's whole gimmick being the donut apocalypse, that could only really work in one video, really, because otherwise the joke gets stale. Much like, I guess, donuts would probably do if they were left out for too long. I have no idea where I'm going with that. And I will say as well, you know, as somebody, again, who has the record of the most, like, drawn-out and repeated joke in Gacha history, I will say that you gotta pace that out. You gotta, like, provide, like, new layers to it. And I'm not sure how that joke could, like, evolve past this video, which means we might have seen the last of Joe Nutt. You know, he might have his debut might also be his epitaph. I don't know. Okay, that's a bit from the part of the story. Like, I'm not saying that you're necessarily wrong. I'm just saying that, you know, I disagree. It's one of those things. It's a review. People watch this stuff for my opinions, KW. I have to say what I think. That's kind of the whole point of this. But yeah, like, to those, of course, who missed the ending or the beginning, like, yeah, I mean, go ahead and check it out. The video's in the description. So yeah, that's something to bear in mind. And then again, I guess if you're if you're Bon or you're watching the VOD, or if you're watching the VOD and you're not Bon, then yeah, also, you know, check it out and see what you think for yourselves. If you've, you know, you're less likely to have missed out certain parts if you're watching the VOD, but still. Anyway, there's a lot of compatible people with hearing. Wow, a lot of compatible people who haven't charged their headphones before they, you know, decide to join a stream. Or for those that show up right towards the end of it. Hello, Eli. I'm sorry, but you've joined us right at the end, so I guess it is VOD time for you as well. But yes, I'm excited for more Miss Fantasia Gahcah sometime in the future. But you know, we all good things must come to an end for right now. But trust me, from this video and from the ones before, I'm definitely not thinking about this channel anytime soon. We will definitely make our way through Miss Fantasia Gahcah for 2025. But yes, VOD time for everyone else. So please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. As I've done this already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.